Hey teachers! So my favorite subject is history. I have loved history since I was a kid, and now as an educator, I love when I can share this passion with students as well. And over the past several years throughout my career, one thing that I've commonly heard teachers complain about is that there's no way to make history hands-on or fun. And when I hear teachers say this, it breaks my heart because you really can make it hands-on and fun. And that's what made me fall in love with it when I was a kid. So recently, I discovered a mobile app that will work from a cell phone or a tablet that is perfect for all kinds of social studies presentations and activities. And anytime I find something like this, I like to share it with you guys so that way you can have new ideas for making your social studies lessons hands-on and fun. So in today's video, I am going to share with you how to use the Chatterpix app, which is so cool. Your students are going to love it. And then I'm going to give you several suggestions for how you can use it to engage your students during social studies, especially right now during virtual learning. So if you have never heard of the Chatterpix app before, this is an app that will essentially allow you to animate any image, whether it's a cartoon image, an image you've taken, something you found online. You can animate anything by making its mouth move. And to give you an idea of how this app works, I recorded an animated message with my dog Penny Lane, and this is a morning meeting message that I recorded. So check this out to see how the app works. Good morning, scholars. Wow, did you see that snow this morning? It sure is cold, but I love to play in it. What about you? I know we are all ready for our winter break, but there is still much to learn, and you have much to accomplish. Remember to stay focused. What are your plans for winter break? So as you can see, this is a super fun app. Students think it's really cute and funny, and it's just a great way to grab their attention and make learning fun. So as I've been playing with this app and working with it more, I've been seeing a lot of application for it in social studies, and I have found 3 ways that you can use it with your social studies lessons. The first is to bring historical figures to life. So let's say you are teaching a lesson about a certain historical figure. You could find an image of that historical figure and create a short introduction to your presentation where that historical figure is introducing themselves and a few key points about themselves. This is a great way to start a lesson and to get students excited about what they're going to learn. The second way you could use Chatterpix for social studies is by having students memorize and recite important information. For example, I always have my students memorize the beginning of the Declaration of Independence. So what you could do for this, especially if you're learning virtually and it's hard to have students give presentations in front of a class, what you could do is you could have them find an image of Thomas Jefferson and animate that with them reciting what they memorized as the beginning of the Declaration of Independence. This is also a great idea for maybe students that are more introverted, a little more shy, and getting up in front of the class is just something that they're not comfortable with. They can kind of hide behind that fun animation while still being able to show what they've memorized or what they've learned or put together. Now, the third way you can use Chatterpix for social studies is by having students use the app as part of a presentation about a historical figure. So if you have your students doing a research project about any historical figure, they could use this as part of that presentation to share some of the information that they have learned. Now that we've talked about some of the ways that you can use this app for social studies, let's go ahead and talk about how you actually use the program and what it looks like. So the first thing we want to do is we want to download it onto your mobile device. It is completely free. And I did check, I have an iPhone, so it will work on any Apple device, but if you have an Android, it does look like there's Android versions available as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to download it. So using your mobile device, you're going to go to the App Store, and then you are going to search for Chatterpix. And if you look at my screen here, you can see exactly how to spell that. And you will notice that 2 different options appear. Now you'll notice when I go to download this from the App Store on my phone, and you should see the same thing if you search for it in the App Store on your mobile device, that there's two versions. There's a regular version and then there's a kid version. And what I recommend you do is, for you personally as the adult, you download the regular version. This is going to give you more sharing options to make it easier to share with your students. There's just a little bit more options there. I recommend though that you have your students download the kid version. There's not going to be as much sharing options. You don't have to worry about anything popping up that might be inappropriate that way. It's just a little bit more of a safer option for your students. So I recommend the regular version for you, the kid version for your students. So now that you know which one to download, let's go ahead and look at how to use it. And the functionality that I'm about to show you, this should pretty much be the same whether you're using the regular version or the kid version. So to create your Chatterpix, you're gonna click on Take Photo, and then you have an option that you can either take a photo directly from the camera, or I just clicked on the gallery because I'm gonna pull an image of George Washington from my phone. So this is an image that I already saved to my phone because I'm going to create a short presentation about George Washington. And you'll notice that I am just using my fingers on the screen to adjust it. You can zoom in or move it around. Now what you want to do is, when you move to the next screen that I'm on here, I am drawing the line where his mouth is going to move, and you'll notice that it zooms in so that I can line it up just right. And if I mess up, I can just start over again. It's really easy. And then the next thing, once that line is drawn, it will actually allow you to record. So you're just gonna click on that record button at the bottom that was flashing, and you will notice that you only have about 30 seconds to record. So that's why I say that it's best to use this as an introduction to a lesson or an introduction to a presentation, because you don't really have enough time to do a big, long, extended thing with it. But it's a great way to engage students at the beginning of the lesson. So I just recorded, and I'm going to click next. It will give me an option to preview it, but I'm going to skip over that right now because the next page is really fun. This is where it will allow you to add all kinds of fun things to the Chatterpix. For example, I can add these glasses on George Washington. I can give the image a border. All of these things are things that are really going to engage your students. So in addition to these fun elements that you can add, you can also add text to the image. So if I want to label who the person is, maybe it's a lesser known person and it makes sense to add a label there, I can do that. But really there's just all kinds of fun things that you could do. You could also maybe give the image a caption, make it kind of funny, but play with this, let your students play with this. They'll have a lot of fun with it. Now let's take a look at the final project. Hello, I am George Washington. I served as the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. After the war, I was unanimously elected as the first President of the United States. As the first President, I set many precedents for future presidents, such as being called Mr. President. I served for 2 terms before leaving office. So there you have it. That is how you can use Chatterpix with your social studies lessons. And I forgot to mention, when you're finished with your presentation, it's going to save it to the gallery in your app. And all you have to do is click on the Chatterpix that you created, and then you'll see a little icon at the bottom of the screen with like an arrow pointing to a device. If you click on that, that will actually save it to your phone. And the easiest thing you can do is you can either email it to students, or you can upload it to an LMS. There's lots of different options for how you can share this and make it available to your students, or have your students share it with you. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about this app. I definitely think it's something that students are really gonna enjoy. And if you have found anything that is just making social studies really fun during this time of virtual learning, please let us know. Go ahead and share a comment below and let us know what you're using to make social studies fun and engaging during this time. And after you do that, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. When you do those things, it really helps this channel to grow and it helps us to reach more educators. And it also lets you know when we release new videos here on our channel or resources. So until next time, happy teaching!